Hello and welcome to this video tutorial from BlenderCookie.com. My name is Jonathan Williamson, and today we're going to continue on with our topology overview sessions, this time looking at the torso, both of the female body and the male body. Now note, these are the same models that I've been working with. Well, in the case of the female body, this is the same mesh from the original model that was done for Durian, and then I have since modified this mesh to fit the male torso, as between the two, there are quite a few topological differences, particularly depending on the amount of detail that you're looking at. And along those lines, in this video, we're going to be looking at the general kind of heroic male proportions in terms of the topology with some pretty good muscle structure. So, this isn't necessarily your average Joe, but with muscle comes a lot of topology challenges that I want to go ahead and look at. So first, let's go ahead and look at the female body. First, on the female torso, you can see I've overlaid a lot of the different face loops in this. We've got a lot of different ones. These is obviously much more complex than, say, the shoulder or even the face in some areas. But let me point out a couple first place. First off, in the shoulder area, we've already looked at this a little bit, and so I won't go over it too much, as we had a video that focused exclusively on the shoulder. But I want to look at how the shoulder attaches to the rest of the body. So first off, we have this primary loop right here that connects the chest area along with the neck area and also the scapula area for the shoulder blade. And so this one is very important, and really what it is just a single loop that starts here, goes around the edge between the pectoral and the shoulder muscles here, around underneath the arm, and then back around the edge of the shoulder, around the shoulder blade here. And you can see we have two similar loops for the shoulder that do much the same thing, but are a little simpler. This one here is pretty much identical to this one, and then this one is a perfect ring. And we talked about those a little bit in the shoulder video, but let's point out a couple of things here that are important. Number one, if we go into vertex mode, are these two poles right here. And the reason these are important, number one, this one allows us to get the clavicle to come up through here and then be able to add in some extra geometry in the form of this edge loop, and this edge loop. What they do is allow you to get the in-between area of the muscles for the neck and the clavicle. And so this pole redirects our topology around like this and right here. So it redirects it in this small area. And then this one here allows us to redirect around the neck, around the neck. So first we have this loop here coming up and around, goes straight over, but then having the pole right here enables us to go ahead and turn this right through here and bring this edge right around and down around the shoulder and under the arm to reconnect back up top with the original face. This pole right here does much the same thing as well. And then this one, which is a three-sided pole, you'll notice goes through right in here. So again, this allows us to get this nice voluminous form right here for the shoulder without having to add in a lot of extra topology all the way up through here. You'll notice that this face right here is what I generally refer to as a diamond, where it's coming down as a single set of edges right to here, and then it splits off with two edges to then form three more edge loops with a single face in between right here. And so that's one of the very important parts right there. Let's go ahead and look at now the clavicle. The clavicle is very, very simple, and it's nothing more than a single face loop that comes up through here. You notice it's going through the main portion of the body and then turns right here based on this pole and what will be a pole right here. And remember, a pole is a vertex that has more than four edges connected to it, or in some ways, some people may refer to it as something else, but one that only has three edges connected to it. And so you have an irregular number of faces such that it's not just a grid pattern like this with these edges. You can better see that if we go into edge mode right here. So it's not just a grid, instead it changes your topology, and these are also very good for controlling your topology such that you can get directional flows like this, or like this. And so the clavicle just comes up, goes over, and then terminates right in here based on these same poles where it just merges with the shoulders by just kind of blending in. And this loop right here in particular is really important for that because it allows you to bring the neck and the shoulder down right here and then just blend that in. And you'll notice as far as detail is concerned, the clavicle is very simple. It's mostly just a raised set of edges to give the indication there. Next, let's move on to the breast here. The breasts are pretty simple. It's nothing more than several face loops, such as right here, 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 and here, that are perfectly circular as far as their topology is concerned. You know, obviously the shape is not actually perfectly circular. So it just goes around, and then it attaches based on this pole here, this pole right here, this one here, and finally this one down here. The rest are just even quads through here to here, here to here, all these through here, here. And so those poles alone allow you to control the topology. So again, we have these ones then going back through here, right through here, right through here. And so these turning points allow us to basically, if we just hide these, you can see very clearly how this is attached. So I'm just hiding the faces right next to it. And then this one here. So if we then look at this, we're going to hide some more of these in here so that we can better see how it's extruded. Here we go. So you can see that pretty much the way to do it is you just extrude this top portion, this side portion, the bottom portion, and the inside portion, and then just fill in the gaps there, and it will naturally go ahead and create those poles for you. So very, very easy technique that allows you to connect a circular form with a not circular form. You know, because we've got these edge loops that just go across, these ones that go across, and to create a circular form in here is not quite as easy. But allowing us to have these poles makes that very, very easy. And then on the inside, all the way to the nipple, is just extruded in from a solid circle. In this case is one area where it is okay to have the triangles, and this one small face was just a mistake. There we go. It is okay to have triangles in here because you're not going to see much deformation, and since it's coming to a close there, we're not going to have any topology really flowing through here. It also allows us to add in extra loops down from the bottom or from the top, sides, any direction that we need to without having to go through the entire body. So from there, let's go ahead and go on down to the abs area. You'll notice throughout the female body that most of the loops outside of the chest are very, very simple. You'll notice that we've just got this one here that kind of outlines the abs, this one here to allow us to extrude in for the belly button, and then the rest of these are all very, very simple. You know, it's pretty much just straight edge loops straight back, like these, and these. They just go from the front to back all the way across. Same thing here, and same thing here. On the buttocks, we have a slight difference right here, where it comes out, across, and then we have a pole, a three-sided pole right here, and a pole right here, allowing us to turn the edges like this to help get this this form right in here. Which particularly, you know, by pulling this down, we can better define the muscles right in here that follow this shape. And the rest of this is all very, very simple. You know, it's strictly just straight face loops and edge loops that are connected directly. One slight difference is the underarm here, where we have this face loop coming through, going around, which allows us to define the kind of the middle section and top section here of the rib cage. So it's coming around, forming the shape of the rib cage. Same thing with this one as well, you know, just the sides in here. So we can then get right in here, allows us to define this edge here, which would be the bottom of the rib cage. So we could take this in, out, you know, anything that we needed to do to better define the rib cage there. Same thing here. And then by having these poles right in here allows us to then turn these faces to outline the abs. The abs on this model are very, very simple. You notice I have the same version of these models on layers Alt or 11 and 10, which is Alt 1 and Alt 2 to view the non-colored ones, just the straight gray, so you can see the model. And looking at this one, that's pretty much it. The back is just straight across all along here. On the female body, we're able to get away with much simpler topology. In general, if you're doing a very defined, very muscular girl, then obviously you will need to add in extra topology, which is where the male body generally comes into play. And looking at this, you can see we've got a lot more definition, everything from the pectoral muscles to the abs to the sides to the back. All these different areas are more defined. So let's go ahead and look at the topology of that on layer 2. And first, you'll notice we've got the same major loops around the shoulder area, so nothing's changed there. The only thing that's changed is the amount of definition in the actual model, and there's a few additional loops to account for that definition. But around the chest in particular, obviously since we don't have the breast in here, we don't want to have the circular edge flow because, while you can do it, it tends to just cause a mess. And so instead what we have are two face loops that come around, forming the edge of the pectoral muscle in from the inside of the chest all the way around the shoulders and through to the back. And then we've got this one here, which forms the corner of the pectoral, just like we did on the woman. And then right here we have this one as well that comes from the inside of the chest down through here. And what this helps to form is this pattern right in here, where they kind of all these edges are coming in like this, which in fact if I just turn on grease pencil, I can just draw across. So we've got all these layers coming through to right there to help form these muscle layers. I'll go ahead and turn my grease pencil off by just deleting that layer. And so that helps very well to add in that kind of detail and the forms there. So some of the important aspects are the pole that we have right here, which again directs this flow and this flow, then allowing these to just extrude straight out. Around the ab area, well, first on the rib cage, we have a similar flow to the female model where we have one main edge loop right here that comes through for the bottom of the rib cage here, down along the bottom. And so, if we go in here, we can define how strong that edge is there. Same thing, with these muscles in here, we have these muscles coming down right here. Allows us, by extruding out from these edges, allows us to just bring those straight down and around, which then connect with this main muscle right here, which we can see better in this model. So we have these muscles coming down like this, and then these ones here. And so then those are just connecting very evenly with those forms. Looking back at our model, the same thing is true of the abs. So we've got this same loop that outlines the abs, but you'll notice that it goes on around back and then continues back over through here. And this is mainly because in the back here, I want to turn this with a pole here, allowing us to get the muscle differences right here. So you can see this is coming around, and then this goes up, and this goes up, and this comes through like this. And so then this forms these muscles right in here. So that works very nicely. By having that pole there, we're able to turn the topology, giving us these muscles here for the back, this flesh right here, and then the in-between ones, such as this, and these are just kind of fillers. You'll notice that we've got the same flow around the bottom of the buttocks, going through here, allowing us to pull this down depending on how strong we want this muscle. We've got this form right in here for the muscles right along here, right above the hip. And we've got our hips right in here. We've got the sides right here. We can bring any of these muscles out, such as this one here. If we want to make the wings stronger, then we can just pull this out, adjust that topology. Same thing here, we can just pull these out a bit more. Same thing with the neck muscles. So we've got this topology right through in here, which isn't very clearly defined in the colors, but if we switch to our other model, you can see that we've got it coming down like this, and going across, and so that works very, very nicely. Same thing, we've got our wings coming down like this. And then these muscles right in here, filled in with these ones here. And then going on around right through here. So all of this, again, works very nicely together to give us the extra definition that we need. So, if we compare these two, let me just go ahead and switch on my wireframe overlay so that we can see these together. So if we look at the differences here, it's the same basic structure where we just have our mesh coming down and across, but right in here, we've added in the extra pole right there, allowing us to turn the topology here to increase these muscles right in here, whereas right here, it just continues straight through. Although we do have a pole right there that's turning the topology to fill in the side muscles here and then go on to the breast. These forms right in here are very much the same. The shape is a little bit different to account for the differences in anatomy. Right in this area, you'll notice that it just goes straight up rather than turning like it does here, and then splitting off right there, and this coming down and then connecting. And so our topology stays a little bit different there. So we have these 2 points that are coming through and turning, whereas here it's just straight smooth up. And if you wanted to add in a little extra definition, you could use this same topology on the female side, but in most cases you can get away without it. You'll notice that the shoulder topology right in here and right in here is nigh identical. We've got this pole here, this three-sided pole here, this pole, and the three-sided pole there, and then also there and there. So that's identical. The only difference is these forms coming down through here rather than just straight down. The shoulders are the same. We've got a pole, and then the other ones surrounding it as well. The necks are exactly the same in terms of topology. Then the main differences are just the proportions and the shape of the general anatomy. So that's pretty much it. Some of just the key points are the main structures around the shoulders, through the chest, around the breast, around the rib cage here and here, outlining the abs, going through the abs across the side, by the hips, around the back. On the female, we can keep these pretty simple normally. We're just going straight up. On the male, we tend to need to add in a little extra definition for the wings here, and then around the lower back right here. Same thing around the buttocks, just around, bring it out, around and over. Same thing on the female. And so the topology is really quite similar, with just several key differences, mainly around the chest, around the side, the abs, and then the back muscles. Other than that, it's pretty much identical. And so that's that. This is a topology overview of some of the main points for the male and the female torso. Hopefully this was helpful, and particularly when tied in with the other topology series that we've done on the head, the shoulders, the hands, the feet. You can just about piece together an entire body if you wanted to, if you've got all the source files. The only things that we haven't really done are the arms and the legs, which there's a good chance that we'll follow up with those here shortly, although the topology is pretty simple, but we'll look at some little more extreme examples, or defined examples perhaps is a better way to put it. And so that's that, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.